Alright, welcome to Derry. So Welcome to Derry is an It Prequel TV show that is set 27 years before the first ever It movie. And when I saw the trailers, I thought to myself, alright, it's just gonna redo the same things. You know, the losers versus the big Pennywise. And that's what I thought, alright? And I went and watched the whole thing. And yes, when you break it down to pieces, the main core, the main plot is there. It's still the same, you know. But there are a lot of things that happen in the show. There are a lot of subplots. If I want to divide it into story beats, two story beats, there is the losers fighting Pennywise, and also, on the other hand, there is the army hunting down Pennywise. And now you would think that they hunt down Pennywise to kill it. But no. For some reason, they want to use it. They want to weaponize Pennywise. From the first ever episode, man. The first episode was fire. Alright? The Losers Club immediately gets killed in a bloody massacre scene in the theater by this big giant baby monster. Because let me remind you that it is a shapeshifter. It's not always Pennywise, but it can turn into a lot of things, all the things. So for the first episode, there is this giant baby thing that is really killing them, slaughtering them inside the theater. That was the standout scene in the first episode, but I felt the whole first episode was so strong in not just setting up things, but it also hammers home, you know, the fear factor that you are in for this kind of show. Now, while talking about episode 2 to 4, things did get slowed down, alright? It just slows down and it lets the characters breathe. But that doesn't mean to say that it is uninteresting in building the suspense leading up to the Pennywise reveal in episode 5. So episode 2 through 4 sets up a lot of things, and it gives you a lot of glimpses of the Pennywise origin, where it came from, and that's where Dick Hallorann comes in. Do you know who it is? If you don't know, Dick Hallorann is a really pivotal character in the Shining movies and the Shining stories. Now, his role in this show is not just a cameo. No. This person is a fully fleshed out character. And it really connects Shining into the Pennywise, the overall Stephen King world. And the use of the shine in this show is brilliant. It's not on your face, but there is a particular scene towards the climax of episode 8 that Dick Hallorann uses his shining abilities to trick Pennywise, you know, to get inside of his mind into thinking that he was Bob Gray. I think that is a really powerful, you know, mind-blowing set piece. That is a mind-blowing reveal that Dick Hallorann could do such a thing. So yes, the use of shining here was so precise and effective. Now, getting back to the episodes, episode 5 has a lot of things going on. You know, with this Losers Club trying to figure out Pennywise and eventually meeting him for the first time, of course, in the sewers, which results in an amazing scene. It was tense, it was quick, and the way Matthew transforms into Pennywise, it is just so creative. It's just so innovative. But there's not the only thing that's happening in episode 5. In episode 5, the army also ambushes the Pennywise house, and it also results in a bloody bloodbath. You know, because Pennywise uses a lot of illusions, a lot of dream sequence, and it really does result into a really tension-filled scene. So, from episode 5 through the 8th episode, the ending, the amount of Pennywise that we were getting, it really increased up to that point. Talking about the characters of the Losers Club, I think all of the kids did an amazing job. But there are three standouts here. Of course, Lily, the main character, I think she is a well-developed character, and I think she is the anchor of the story. The first kid who saw it all, the bloodbath in the theater, and it really relates to her trauma and her past in Derry. Now, these two other characters are March and Richie. Now, March, at first I didn't like her because she was trying too hard to fit into the cool kids club, and at first she was not likable at all. In fact, when Pennywise trying to kill her in the school, I was like, alright, just drop her down. But eventually, she has a redemption arc. Now, Richie is the MVP. Richie is the best character in the whole show, alright? Because he's just so charming, and the redemption arc where he was trying to help his friends holding the dagger at the end of the show, and when he dies also in the Black Spot Massacre, it was really an emotional moment. But it was really the conclusion of his arc, that he returns from the dead just to our farm and defeat Pennywise and once and for all. I think that is a really powerful moment, and it's just those types of moments where you cheer up and you're happy because you're seeing Richie as a spirit. Alright? It was just an impactful scene. There's something that I've been holding back on this review, and that is the use of Pennywise. Because Pennywise, even though he doesn't show up from the start, I think his use here of Pennywise is really effective. Because his first scene was short, but it is tension filled, and it builds up tension properly, and then when it explodes into paranoia, dread. Now that's what I like about the use of Pennywise in this show, because I knew he was terrifying, alright, in the movies, but in this show, it emphasizes more on the dread, the growing fear of the humans that are trying to fight them, instead of spectacle, jump scares everywhere. There are, of course, some jump scares here and there, but it never overtook the feel. It is also genuinely funny at some scenes because of Bill Skarsgård's performance and line delivery in some of the scenes. Now, getting into some parts, some minor gripes that I have with the show is that there is a subplot with Bob Gray, the person who becomes Pennywise, who is possessed by it. He has a daughter, and this whole subplot with his daughter trying to meet Bob Gray again as he was possessed by it, I feel like it kind of took away from the experience for a little while, because she becomes a bit of like a pseudo Pennywise for some time, and I felt like that subplot was unnecessary and sometimes even underdeveloped when you compare it into the other storylines. But that's just a minor gripe, alright? And Bill Skarsgård's performance here is just amazing. He was even more terrifying than he was in the movies, and he is funny, and this is peak Pennywise. This is the best depiction, the best adaptation of Pennywise that we have gotten in this material so far. I know he was great in the movies, but in the movies he was kind of like, he's there to jump scare you, and a lot of scares happening, and just the shock value of it all. But in this series, it emphasizes more on dread, the build up, and the scary moments are genuinely scary. Alright? With, it becoming a lot of things, the pickle jar jump scare, and the big giant baby wings. I think that was brilliant. And also, the use of its manifestation, I felt was really powerful and also creative because it can transform a lot of things into a lot of things, and the show really does show you what prime Pennywise is capable of. I will tell you this, there are a lot of bloody, brutal moments, especially in the Black Spot Massacre, which is a standout sequence because Pennywise shows up there, and also there is this emotional build, this emotional beats that Richie does also in that particular sequence. So the mix of those two ingredients really makes the sequence memorable. Alright, it is one of the best sequences in the whole show, and yes, overall I like this show a lot. Because I didn't think that I would watch it. Alright, I would just skip it. But after watching the first episode, it is bangers, and I just want to keep going into watching this. Where would this story continue? And also, the other aspect that I like about Pennywise in this show is that it explores Bob Gray a little bit more in the flashback, and it just, it's nice to know who he was before he became it, alright? Because he was a genuinely good person. So, I wouldn't have minded that maybe there is a little bit more time spent with the Bob Gray side of Pennywise. I think that would be even better. So, I will give it, Welcome to Derry, an 8.5 out of 10 because this is just a banger, guys. If you have seen it, Welcome to Derry, tell me everything you like, everything you don't like, and do you like the use of Pennywise in the whole show? I liked it, alright? I couldn't have imagined if Pennywise had showed up right after the first episode and just shows up from episode 1 through episode 8. That would be boring. Also, I really like the Pennywise design of episode 8 because it presents you with something new, a new look, and also in the last episode he was just killing everyone, alright? And I really like how they did Pennywise in this show. So, have you seen it? If you have, tell me everything you like, everything you don't like. How does it compare to the movies? Which one is better? Tell me everything. Your favorite Stephen King stories? Everything, drop it in the comment section down below. And see you on the next video.